So this is the end of turn 9, winter turn for 1863. So here in the eastern half, here Banks took Harper's Ferry. Lee moved down here with force to keep Burnside, Hooker under that fort kind of pinned. Van Dorn down here. So Morgan and Forrest were lost out here, which was annoying. Forrest tried to take Lexington and lost. And Morgan was sitting there in Glasgow. Died because it was winter turn and Rosecrans cut his line of communication, and he died by he needed a 6 to survive, and not getting a 6, and he did, and died. But over here, Bragg actually forced Grant back. But they've got a nice long line here. Hardy's been stuck at Corinth. McPherson came down Holly Springs. Decatur was taken by Sherman. So got some victory points there. And then out here, Curtis take Fayetteville and push down. Price was able to rush over to block, but Sigel is over here. But another big maneuver here was Cooch came in here and landed in Pensacola, which has got Kirby Smith that was down here trying to get down to cover, because Cooch can just walk up this railroad line to Montgomery or over to Mobile and cause a lot of issues. And by taking a few of these points, the Union survived another turn, but it's getting closer, and they got to keep up with taking important areas. But I mean, taking New Orleans is a nice one to take when they haven't even set up anything to take on that. But the Confederates are pretty thin everywhere. But we get reinforcements this turn in spring, and we'll see how things go. So this is the end of turn 10, spring of 63. Kind of way that the turn cycle fell, that the Union player got the last move, so I could totally take out Reynolds could take what is it again, Strasburg, without worry of Lee's counterattack until against either Banks or Reynolds. So that was like kind of good. Took that point there. Went outside of the eastern area, not much happened. Over in the west, Bragg survived in Chattanooga against Grant and Sherman combined to attack there. It was kind of bloody for both sides. Rosecrans took Knoxville, Grant keeping Bragg in that position. McPherson took Corinth because Confederates reinforced down here at Vicksburg. And Curtis and Taylor stalemated there, but Taylor lost one, Curtis lost one, but tied the battle, so he was demoralized. It's out of supply. No, he was completely lost. So So Taylor won, but still lost somebody. And then Kirby Smith blocking off Cooch here. Pensacola. And they have 21 and the thing was 27 here, so holding on, but not doing as well. Playing this fast, I'm not doing proper takeout of New Orleans here. Trying to pick up little things, but I think the focus in the West is probably going to be trying to get Bragg out of Chattanooga, and Atlanta is going to be the key. And Alabama's been getting built up here, so they're, if there's a major push down here in Pensacola, probably break up things, but taking Mobile might be the key there. And but I mean, Confederates have almost nothing here at this point, but since they're going to get reinforcements on this turn, it's probably going to be built up in the West, hopefully. But for the Confederates, if he builds up in the West and weakens, doesn't really build up the East, you might have some Meade coming in here and causing problems, because now Jackson's going to go away. So onward to the summer of '63. So this is the end of summer 1 of '63, turn 11. The Union player is up to 30. So they hit on the nose on this one because they took a big risk, and basically marched into Georgia with Grant and Sherman. Blue glare. There we go. And Kirby Smith kind of came shooting up this way, but by railroad just outside of Atlanta. Hopefully cuts the railroad off there for reinforcements to Grant and Sherman, because they're kind of out there. Forrest is up here to cut up here, but it was a bit slow. We had 1, 3, and 2, 2 and 2. So a total of 8 activations. Kind of quiet up here in the east. And down here in Mississippi. But I mean, Confederates have got a huge hole to cover all of this. But at least Vicksburg and New Orleans are still in their hands. So, but Hooker was able to take Fort Phillip and Jackson, so causing some problems here. And Hancock's got 5 to just the 2 that are covering here. So it's a lot of problems for the Confederate players here. With Grant kind of just basically running Bragg's army to kill it. And it was a little unexpected with good die rolls. So on to the second summer. So this is the end of summer 1862, this is the second summer turn. We had actions were 2, 4, 1, and 2, so a little slow. Grant didn't take that city there, so he's out of supply. Savannah's got the fort, so he's out. We got Beauregard at Longstreet hanging out here. Lee actually got pushed back by Meade out of Manassas. The other important thing was, Sherman came running out of Atlanta, pushed back Kirby Smith, and knocked out Bragg out of Columbus, and took Montgomery. But also Hooker came down here, took New Orleans, forced out, forget who's in there, I think it should be gone, Hardee, and then Hooker tried to come up around here and take Baton Rouge and knock out the naval guns, and Hardee was in his effects, intercepted Hooker and pushed him back. Kind of lucky die rolls. And up here in Arkansas, Price knocked out Steele, killed his force, come back, and they're all hanging out in Little Rock. And Curtis is sitting outside. McPherson didn't do much down here and been pretty quiet on this side of the map. All the activity has been down here in Georgia and Alabama and Louisiana, here around New Orleans. And now Union is actually pulled ahead on the victory points, so they're actually making good progress. Once the line gets pierced for the Confederates, it's really about managing your losses at that point, because there's way too many holes. It's like you can take stuff back, and but the Union player can go somewhere else or counter. And I'm finding not having those 2 extra moving points is kind of sucky, because moving these guys around here would have been nice to have the extra 2 points and over here to counter Sherman and Grant, but also Sherman and Grant would have liked them because they could have done much more lightning moves, like not be out of supply using that extra point there. So see what happens in fall. So this is the fall of '63. It turned 13. We had loads of activations, but a lot of not action happening, somewhat for the Union player. So we had 4, 5, 3, 1. So Union took down these 2, but they kind of lost down here in Augusta. But Savannah is now open. The fort surrendered. Forrest came down here and took Atlanta back, and Macomb and Middle Lynchfield. Milled Bill. Totally mispronouncing that. And then Wheeler tried to come down here and try to cut Sherman's and Hancock's left line down here. They kept it. Kirby Smith actually defended Salem against Sherman, which was good. Hooker did nothing down here. And this idiot tried to take Arkansas Post and muff the die roll. And so it was due to some bad rolling, the Union player didn't do much. And lost a bit of victory points here in Georgia. But losing those victory points, but the Confederates doesn't gain much because some of these are destroyed for resource points. And so on to 1864, see if the Confederates can hold. Oh yeah, Taylor did good here, holding out with Polk and Longstreet covering here. On to 1864.